Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Akshat Bharati and today I'm going to talk about the talk of the town, ChatGPT's agent mode, the future that we were always looking for. And let's talk about it. As you can see on the left hand side, there is something that's happening. Like an agent is going ahead and doing stuff, right? Again, quite literally, like, trying to figure out a couple of things that I've told it to do and going ahead and doing stuff. And that's crazily amazing. But let's see how you can activate this. Now, first of all, you need to come to chatgpt.com. And as you can see on my window here, you go to tools and you select, and all of these options, you select the first option, which is agent mode. Once you select agent mode, your job is pretty much simple. You can give it options to start with, and it technically was giving me options here. As you can see, it has options which I can look up from this and try to select one of them if I don't have any ideas to do. But here I do have an idea on how I want to use the agent. I'm a massive reader, right? I love to read books and I try to find as much time as to read them because again, they help you do a lot more. But one of the problems that I found with the kind of content I want to read is that I don't have AI books which are written in the AI era, as we are seeing things develop, like very few of them are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask agent to go ahead and find 15 books for me, which are going to be recommended by the likes of Bill Gates and others and should be published after 2023. And include books from economics, AI, politics, and education. And also, I want to go ahead and give it a crazy task, I don't know, and also download the books, ebooks from them from ZLib, right? Let's see if it works or not. But again, if you can't download, give me ordering links so that I can order. Let's see what it does. But very simply, I've given a task to the agent and then just hit press enter. Now, the first step that it will start doing is it will start setting up a desktop, right? Again, it will go ahead and set up a desktop, which technically is just setting up a virtual machine in somewhere and technically allow it to go ahead and research the web and go ahead, click on links and everything else. And as you can see, it started going ahead and doing all of that. It has thought about a plan and is now executing it. As you can see, you are right now seeing the live part of it. You can also go back and see the agent by navigating across this bar. I'll show you also another cool trick, but till this is happening, it takes roughly 8 to 10 minutes for an agent to run and complete the task. I'll also show you a couple of tasks that it already did for me. Okay, and let's start with one of the most craziest one, which is creating a whole Canva deck. So if you come here, it created a whole presentation for me, which was a pretty simple presentation. I asked it to create a presentation about myself, quite literally. I asked it to go ahead and create a presentation for myself and everything that it can find about me and create that. Created a summary, created something, created biographic, education, everything. Obviously, it's not perfect. You can see in the images and stuff are again obviously a bit here and there. But at the end, it was able to create some stuff. Now, obviously, don't trust everything that's there. It's obviously gone on to the web and found whatever it could with some inputs that I gave and then created this. But not only that, I also asked it to create this presentation in canva.com, in my Canva. So if you come back here, right, here is the prompt. And let me just show you the prompt so you understand the task. Create a desk which gives me killer snapshot of everything that I've done as skills and professions. And then I give it a massive report about myself and then come back here. It was trying to search LinkedIn. It was not able to search LinkedIn because obviously LinkedIn blocks you if you are not logged in. So I went there and asked it to let me log in into LinkedIn for you, right? And then again it says you took control. And here after taking control, I went around and logged in into LinkedIn and told it to continue. As it can see, it saw multiple windows after that and started going ahead and creating them. I also logged in into Canva. And once you come here, it went ahead and it will show you again, the images are not loading very properly once you see in the preview. But it went ahead and tried to create a couple of things, but also at the end, went to LinkedIn, went to Canva and created this whole point in presentation in Canva and also uploaded it. And let me show that to you how that looks. As you can see, I have these two Canva designs. Now again, there is a lot happening here, so I don't want to show a lot, but very simply, there are two designs which are created quite literally 15 to 20 minutes ago, like 20 to 30 minutes ago, and you can open them and they have both these presentations are actually created by the agent when I logged in into Canva. It was able to go in and create this presentation. Now again, the presentation is okay, right? But the idea was that it created a presentation itself and then finally just uploaded it because it was trying to create here. Some of this is you can see it's the Microsoft font. You can see that Calibri and everything else. So it created the presentation on the desktop itself and then came and uploaded here. This image, it created itself using, I think, a couple of libraries there. And you can obviously go ahead and walk through every part of the process, right? As you can see, the only thing is it's 16 minutes of work being done. So I don't know if you want to watch that, but if you want to watch that, you can definitely just click on play and watch the presentation happen. But that is the coolest thing that I would have seen in an agent. And I'm telling you, if you don't understand what does this mean for AI, you don't understand what's coming for you. Very simply, agents will be able to become like these micro workers, which will, based on our instructions, go ahead and try to do a lot of stuff and then try to do it in this manner. Right now, this looks horrible. It's like, Akshat, I don't want to use this presentation. 110% you don't want to. But the point is, this is the worst that it will ever be. And if you can't understand that, you should. So this was one of the coolest stuff that I did. It took roughly around 20-25 minutes for this to get executed. Again, I would have obviously expected to be faster, but again, it's also like, the slowest that it can be right now. And I think I would have taken roughly around 10 minutes to put this presentation together. But if I was putting the presentation together for someone else, I don't know, it would probably take me a bit more time. So yeah. Then let's come to another part, which I gave it as an access, was to go ahead and research for monitors for me, which is one of the most use case that you look for is shopping, right? People will use it a lot for shopping, for finding the best deals and everything else. And then again, it went down and created a massive amount of information. As you can see, it went through different websites, it created screenshots and everything else and did that. Now let's come to the same part which is happening here. Now, just to tell you on how do you actually take access of the browser here, we can click on this right three dots and you can obviously see the activity, what's happening by list, right? Or you can come and say take over the browser. Now it will technically give you the access to the browser in the exact state that it was in when you click this button and show you what it's trying to do. As you can see, it's trying to create probably a list of things or trying to do something. But obviously right now you just see the browser. So you can technically open anything here. I can open for example, I can open fast.com here, right, and check out the speed that it's browsing at, or open YouTube and play my own channel, right? So I'm just going to enter that and it can open anything. So it's pretty much a browser that can do everything, right? Again, it's a browser that you can use to do anything. And again, if you like content like this, please hit that subscribe button, helps me out a lot. And you can see content and everything else. The point is that when you you can say, let's say I want to go to YouTube and I want to find best book recommendations. I search that because I want to still allow the agent to complete its task. You can see 14 amazing books summarized in 1 minute or less or whatever, right? Again, and I can click on finish controlling and you can see there are books loaded here from Gates browser and click on finish controlling. Once I do that, it goes and sees the browser that I left it, right? So I left it a browser which has a YouTube tab open, which has also a search for best book recommendations, right? And again, you can see work for 7 seconds, the user has taken control of the browser. You see the research is not completed yet, and unless there's no need to ask for further details, and I'll proceed accordingly. You can obviously give it more information or click on continue. Or you can also say, go ahead and also research best books that you can read based on NYT bestsellers. List also as a factor. And when you do this, it technically gives another instruction to the agent. As you see, stops the browser and then again goes ahead and starts that. It should not have stopped the agent and it will not. Yes, it will go ahead and start the agent again to give it another instruction that in the middle of the task you think, what, I want to add something. So it's not final process. You can give it more instructions to happen. And that's, I think, a very important and a cool feature, because when I'm writing tasks, I'm not going to write perfect tasks. Obviously, I'm not going to write the perfect task. It's going to take me time to come up with the perfect task. It's going to be a task with motion. So you're being a co-pilot assistant agent, which has here. So you're working with the agent rather than leaving the agent here. Obviously, you can do that for some tasks. For example, the monitor task, I did not need to give crazy information. I just tried to open Amazon, which it did not allow me, because Amazon is pretty good at detecting if you're a real human or an agent. But it went through 8 minutes of information and then created this. I'll be honest, if you see the shopping recommendation that it has given, it's pretty cool and crazy that I haven't even thought about some of these monitors. Obviously Samsung is popular, LG is popular, but something for 25,000 Coconut Life, I don't even know if this exists on something. If I just click on this link, I can open this. There is a 25,000 rupees monitor which you can buy, which is apparently pretty good based on at least the research that it did, and I will obviously you can read the research a bit more. Again, very simply 180 hertz refresh rate, 1 millisecond response time, great contrast, flicker-free backlighting and everything else, right? And then you can keep saying it went from the lowest price possible, which is the LG one, and come from LG's 32-inch monitor, right? And come to the lowest one that's there. So pretty cool, again, you can have curved one for 13,500. and then you can go below, and then you can keep searching like till the last point there. So you have the BenQ1, which is probably, I have heard like great things about this, like it's probably one of the best monitors available, and you can like obviously see this. I don't think this, is it loading? I think it's still loading, right? So let's see. I hope it came with the right link or something. If not, that would be crazy. But yeah. Okay, let's see. This is the model BenQ US. I think it opened the US one and probably like get changed, and it's not available on the India one. So obviously there is some issue with that, but okay, that's fine. But you still see like you get a great range of options. So shopping is actually going to be a massive use case because it's the easiest one and also very relatable for people, right? Finding the best deals, finding the cheapest flights, finding the best hotels, creating an itinerary. Now it has just access to everything that we have access to when we are creating this. Obviously it still needs to reason and everything else, but if you write a good prompt, it can reason well. So now obviously it's going ahead and like trying to create like a ton of things, and let's see what it comes back with. So I'm just going to pause this and then come back to it once the agent is done with its work. Okay, well, so this went on for 34 minutes. I waited for 34 minutes, and after that I was like, what, this video is going to be crazy, but 100 members have to end this. And then finally said like, it went on like a massive roller coaster. It like quite literally solved some captures also in the middle. I think at least like I was able to see like obviously face some issues. It was probably very well done. Like again, it went for 34 minutes, and if you see like just the amount of like websites and everything it has gone through, like again MIT Press, it went through Gates Notes multiple times, it went through the MIT Press again, and like it found really good books. And then again, I have some of these books again, but it's really cool. Like it went through why you should read it, evidence, and how to obtain and everything else. Obviously it's like you can't Z library, illegal downloading, why Z library is not supported, which I was like obviously expecting, and you should not allow it to. But very simply, like again, this is quite literally like a pretty cool list that I can utilize, and like the amount of research it went into through it is crazy. And I think like just the idea that like should be there, that you can use these agents. But just the amount of work it went through is crazy, like just to find 15 books. But also it came up with that. The only thing I can say is like this is just the start, this is just the scratch of the surface, right? Where you're seeing like we are using these for some stuff where you can find a list, you can click on this like and find a book or something like that, and everything else and all of those things. But the idea that we can use these tools and like do so much more, like I'm going to think like I know 5-6 things that I'm going to do with this. I'm going to ask it to create my content, I'm going to ask it to do more research, bring back the latest topics and convert it into it. Right now, because it's a bit more browser based, the day it becomes agentic based, where it can just hit APIs and get the content back. That's it. Like we can already build agents like that, but it will be like accessible to everyone to build them. But yeah, with that, like again, obviously it tells you don't like you can't use books using zlib. That's fine. Like I was not planning to, but the idea, like I just wanted to see like what works and what does not. With that, I would just say, if you liked and enjoyed the video, it has taken me probably the longest video, just the amount of time it has taken to build it. If you did like it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And I can honestly say there's going to be so much more content on AI agents on the channel. So if you like to build your own AI agents and want to learn how to, keep following me and I'll tell you how. Till then, I'll see you in the next one.